Personal story segment tonight. As you may know, the daughter of Sonny and Cher, Chaz Bono, has undergone a sex change, is now a man, Chaz Bono. And Mr. Bono is getting all kinds of publicity, even appearing on a dance program. Now, that doesn't sit too well with Dr. Keith Ablow, who wrote, quote, "I advise parents not to allow their children to watch episodes in which Chaz appears," unquote. Well, that has raised the ire of some, including Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly. Dr. Ablow joins us now from Boston. So, what is the objection? You don't want the parents to let their kids watch Mr. Bono. Why?
Well, Mr. Bono is doing more than dancing. He's on a campaign to mainstream transgenderism. And I have to care more about America's kids as much as I do about my own kids. And so here's the thing. We know, Bill, people model their behavior after one another. We wouldn't invite people with anorexia to go on fashion shows and talk about how wonderful they feel now that they're thinner and how they want more liposuction. This is an exact parallel. We have somebody who is not a man asserting that he is a man. And the bottom line is that this can kindle people who are having trouble with their identities, adolescents, tomboys, boys who are effeminate, into thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm not just those things. Maybe I should go the whole way. After all,
okay, but tell me why
he's getting standing ovation after standing ovation.
If Chaz Bono is happy with what he's done, all right, if he's a happier guy, I don't know him at all, so I don't know whether he is or isn't, but I'm sure he said he is. What's wrong? You're an American. You can choose now with medical science to do a lot of different things. You have the right to do it legally. So what's wrong with him doing it?
Well, first of all, him doing it is different than then coming to me or my children or you and saying, I want you to agree with me. I'm a man, right?
But he's making an argument that what he did isn't wrong. Do you really believe that he's promoting and saying to the kids, hey, if you are confused, you should do what I did?
Of course he is.
Yeah?
He wrote a book to that effect. He actually called Brad Pitt's, he asked to speak with Brad Pitt's daughter, Shiloh, because she dresses like a tomboy, and said, I could be of use to her. For what could you be of use, Chaz? To convince her that when she develops breasts, she should cut them off?
Yeah, but I think that's pretty harsh. You don't know why he wanted to.
Why is that harsh?
Because I'm not sure he's as militant as you're portraying him. But I could be wrong. I don't know the man.
Okay.
But let's go to the wider question. Here you have a very high-profile guy who did what he did, all right? And you're right, it's in the public square. But with the secular country in which we live, and with the media championing all kinds of alternative lifestyles, and you know they do, every single day.
Sure.
I think this might be a positive for parents, to discuss this with their children. To say, look at this guy, here's what Dr. Keith Ablow says, but here's what somebody else says, that, you know, because the kids aren't going to get away from it, doctor. Not with the media being the way the media is. They're not going to get away with it.
If that's what you want, open the gates. Open up the DSM-4, our diagnostic manual in psychiatry. Take the heroin-dependent people, put them on TV with their drug paraphernalia, and have them speak about how happy they are. You won't see Chaz Bono saying this, that studies and follow-up of people who are transgendered and take massive doses of hormones like him have a 50% higher mortality rate than the general population.
All right, so are you basing your criticism on the fact that what Mr. Bono did is not healthy?
Correct. I am with Paul McHugh, with whom I studied, who shut down the sexual reassignment clinic at Johns Hopkins, saying there's no evidence that this helps people. And many academic medical centers followed suit. That's a different thing
than making a value judgment about that. So, okay, now you resigned today from the American Psychiatric Association because they disagree with you, correct?
Look, I've supported them. I've written books that explain psychiatric thinking on behalf of the American Psychiatric Press. One of my mentors was the president of the American Psychiatric Association. But the bottom line is, when you have volume after volume coming out, where they're taking diagnoses out, putting new diagnoses in, what kind of medicine is this? A group that supports Obamacare, a group that can literally say, hey, I'm not going to take your call, doctor, because there's no evidence that watching this fellow on TV can hurt anyone. Well, guess what? There's no evidence on the other side either.
All right, so I just want to recap. So your primary objection is not moral, it's not social, it's medical. You believe that this transgendered stuff is harmful physically to the people who undergo it.
It's both, Bill. I believe it's medically not indicated, but I also believe that people model their behavior after others, and this is ill-advised behavior, and that celebrating someone who's performing that behavior is a mistake, and people shouldn't watch.
All right, Doctor, thanks very much. We appreciate it. When we come right back, Bernie Goldberg.